We start to class on time. I sprayed my ankle a little bit this morning, and luckily it's just a small bump on my feet, so I'm fine mostly. But occasionally I have sickness. My kids are all in the public school. You know how bad it is. How many germs they bring home. So if I'm sick, I mean, let's send a quick email and then do the recording instead of a face-to-face meeting. But yeah, luckily I still be able to make it today. So a lot of us are confused with what format you should submit for the assignment. If you submit with a .py file, it's hard for me to view the result. So I really need ought to do the Jupyter Notebook, and many of our online students may skip this page, so I'll do it again. So first you install Anaconda, and after you install it, you will come to a page like this. It's just like installing any software. So after you install it, you will come to this page. These are the environment. It's like a small Windows. It's like a small Windows or small Mac. Okay, you can start the environment here. You can start the command line here. Just please bear with me. So you can start a terminal command line here, and then type in Jupyter Notebook. And it will start the Jupyter Notebook like here. I did. So it will direct you to this interface. It's a Jupyter Notebook, and then you can create your file, your document. And this is especially designed for writing report, and it's actually much easier than a command line, because if you just type in some variable or want to run some script, you don't have to type in Python .py file, and every time you just run this, and it will run the code. And then you can cut the code, or you can you can add another line, right? And occasionally, if the variable in the previous chunk is used in the later chunks, you have to run all the code to make it reflected, because if you changed this variable here, but you didn't run it, it didn't make the change to the safe when you call it here. That's a basic tutorial. So if you have any question, just contact me and we can set up a meeting. Okay. Now let's go back to our class. So this week we are going to talk about the Numpy array. This is probably the most basic package, foundational package you would use, and every other package you download, if not all of them, most of them are built on Numpy. It's really convenient to do calculations, and the speed for Numpy array is faster than list or some other data types, because it only supports homogeneous data type. So in the list, you can import one number and one string, but in Numpy, it only supports homogeneous, so it has to be all integer or strings. Okay, that's a difference. And the second one, Numpy is a third package. It doesn't come with the Python itself, so you have to import Numpy at the beginning. And it's really convenient to do any mathematical operations, which we will talk about later. Okay. And so the first thing we have to do is to create a Numpy array. Most often we use this Numpy array to create a series of numbers, or you could use a numpy.array to convert a list or a tuple into array. So let's talk about how to create the arrays with this Numpy range. The format of this function is you need to tell it the start number, the end number, and the steps between the start number and the end number. For example, here, if you don't take it, if you only tell it one number, that means it starts with 0 and it ends with this number. And the step is 1. And here I tell it 2 numbers. That means that this is the start number, this is the end number, and then the step is 1. So what this will print out? What these 3 will print out? I see. Let's start from this one. M. What is M? What will be M?
Would it be 3?
No.
0, 1, 2, 3.
0, 1, 2, 3. Yes, correct. Yes. So what would be N? N is a second number. N would be.
Would it be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11?
Almost correct.
Stop at 10.
Yes. So the end number is not included. Okay, this one is excluded. The start number is included. So this one, it will print out 0 to 10. How about this one? Actually, it's not 0. Okay, we start at 2, right? Start at 2, yes. So what will be S? S will be
3, 6, 9. Or would it start at 9?
not 3, 6, 9. It should be 2,
2, 11, 3.
2, 5, 8.
What?
It doesn't even include 11. Yes. So this will be 2, 5, 8. Yeah. Okay. So that's how we use NumPy. Okay, just remember this format and try different numbers to get familiar with this. No, sorry. So we just talked about creating a 1D array. So how can we create a 2D array? So this one, it will create a 1D array. And next, we want to create a 2D array. This is often used because it will look like a table. Right? Most of our data, a lot of our data are in 2D shape. So if I write it out, so that if this is a 1D array, then this is a 1D array, right? We all confirmed how the 2D array will look like. It will be another row, right? And then maybe 2, 3, 4. So this one has 2 rows and 3 columns. So actually using NumPy to using this NumPy to create a 2D array is easy. So here we created the first row, and then here we created the second row with another 4 elements. And then, of course, the write out like this format will not make it one array, but combine it into one array. So what you have to do is the format is like this. So you have to add a comma and then add another square brackets to make it to the array. So right now here, now we just got one array, but it has 2 rows. Right? It's in good shape. It's in a good 2D shape. So this is the code to create a 2D array. You see here, it's a 1D array, and then a second row 1D array, and then you group them together into a square, and then you change it to an NumPy array. Right. So my question is, what will happen? So this will create a 2D array. What will happen if we input this line? See, M equals this. Here, this NumPy range give it 2 elements, 0 and 1, right? And this one, it gives it from 0 to 3, yeah. And then I want to combine it into a 2D array and then change it to a 2D array and change it. What is will happen? Let's try this. Let's try this and see if it will work.
Would it be 0, 1, 2, 3?
Maybe. Let's see.
2.
So what does it say?
Deprecated.
Yeah, we should specify. I think that's fine. So let's see. Let's compare the difference. Okay. What's the difference here? This is a standard 2D array we just talked about. However, looks if I do this one, the result looks like 2 arrays in a list or in one array.
So you have to specify the key type object.
Maybe, but I didn't do that when I type in 2. And it did work to create a 2D array. So as the major problem here, it didn't create a 2D array, instead it put like 2 arrays here because the shape doesn't align. Here it's 2 elements. And the second line, it has 4 elements. It cannot create a 2D array like this. With one row is 3 numbers, and the second row is 4 numbers. And so that's a common problem we need to be aware of. Yeah. So when you create a 2D array, this axis 0 is the row number, and the axis 1 is the column number. And next question is how we create a 3D array. So if we write this as a 2D array, of course I need to delete this number. So this is a perfect 2D array now. And how it would look like a 3D array. So this is right now, this is a table. This is a table in the front. And we add this is a whole 2D array. To the array, and we need to add another 2D array, another table, the second table behind this square. So it will be like a so here I created two 2D arrays, one table here, and then the second table here. And then here's a dot to separate them. What we needed next to do is to group them together with a square, just with another square. So this will be the one array together, and then change it to Numpy array. Okay, so I'll leave this to you to create a 3D array. When we use the 3D array, the axis 0 is the row number here, and the axis the axis 2 is this direction, and the axis 2, this axis 1 is this like a width. You can say height and width is the axis 1, and then the axis 2 is the height or the depth of the square, of this cube. Okay, so that's a 3D array. And we often use this code to check the shape of the array. So this is the attribute or the function of the NumPy of this NumPy class. I created an object of the NumPy array. That means right, and then I use this code to check the shape. But this is the attribute of the object or the function of the object. You see. Oh, that's what we mentioned at last class. How do you distinguish an attribute and a function? If you're calling a function, it should be a parenthesis. And if it doesn't have parenthesis, you're calling the attribute. So this shape is an attribute of this object. For example, here, if I do this, and m.shape, then it should be a 2, 2. It's a 2 rows and 2 columns.
The attribute would be derived from the class, right? It would come from the class.
Yeah, it comes with the class, yes. The function you have to call it to make it run. Yeah. Yes, so this is the shape. Let's try a 3D one, okay? So if I do this one, here was yeah, sometimes that get confused. Also, there are too many brackets I need to add. Here, so if this 2D array, then if we change it into a 3D array, for example, I can actually make this one an M, and then I should be able to do this, and then I create a 3D array using the Numpy array. Give it a 2D array, and then another, give it a one table and the second table, and then group them together. This should be a 3D array, and you can print out this shape and see. Okay. Now, so this shape is a 3-dimension. This is the first dimension, axis 0, and the axis 2, and the axis axis 0, 1, and 2, right? If I give it another table, then what would this shape will be? Tell me the 3 numbers. It will be each table is still 2, 2, right? The shape is a row number is 2, and the column is 2. Here we have 3 tables now. So this shape will be changed to
3-dimensional.
yeah, it is already 3-dimensional. It was MN. This is already 3-dimensional. So right now it has go back to this. Right now this has 2 tables. One table here in the front has the 2 rows and 2 columns, and then a second table at the back, 2 rows and 2 columns. Right. However, if I add another table M, I still repeat M, okay? And then this shape will be changed to
Yeah.
4-dimensional?
no, it will not be changed. I still just change it to, you can create it 4-dimensional, but 3-dimensional is enough. In most cases, I never used it. It's 4-dimensional, okay? So here is 1 table and 2 tables and 3 tables. So this shape, it will be changed to what? It will be changed to each table is still 2 rows and 2 columns, but here this is this number will be changed to 3 because we now have 3 tables. See this 1 table with 2 rows and 2 columns, and a second table with 2 rows and 2 columns, and then we added a third table M again. So this will be 2, 2 to 3. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. Okay, so actually, I'm wrong here. It's 3 to 2. So this is this table is So this is actually this picture I get is wrong then. So this will be so this actually wrong. So this the first one is the number of tables anyway. Number of tables. So actually it should be like here 1 square to 2 times 2, 1 square and 2 square and then third square. So this actually is I was wrong actually. Okay. So I always think that's the first one is the row number and the column number in each of the table. So let's print out D to see, okay? D is also. So this one is the last layer, actually. Last layer, this first number is the last layer of the 3D shape. And then the second one, I should still be the row number here. And the last one is the column number here. So for example, if I change this to 3 and 3, then I would expect this to be 3 and 2 rows in each table and then 3 columns. Let's try and see. Yeah, did I do anything wrong? Okay, it's because M and N doesn't align with each other now. So as you see, so for each table N M, we have 2 rows and 3 elements, right? And this shape of this 3D is 3 3 means 3 tables, and then 2 rows and 3 columns. So if I change this to 4, which number will change? Let's see which number will change. Which number will change if I change this to 4?
The second one would go 0, 1, 2, 3,
The second one,
the middle, yeah.
so it was
You change M or N?
I changed both. I had to change both so it align with each other. If this one is a 3-member and this one is a 4-member, it cannot group into a table.
So they would all change with them.
Yes, change this to 4 elements and change this to 4 elements. And then it still has the 3 tables. Well, one number will be changed from 3 to 4. It's the last number 3, right? The column number, the number of column. Okay. Oh. Go back to slide. Okay. Yeah, so that's the 1D array to 3D array. It might be a little bit confusing. You just try different numbers and to see how it works. Okay. And the third one I want to talk about is sometimes you need a random numbers instead of giving it numbers. So how do we create a random number array with random numbers? So here's the code. numpy random, and there's a random number function. And you give it the shape you want. Okay, here I give it the shape I want is 2 rows and 3 columns, or you could have a 3 dimension is adding a 4. So this will generate what this will generate is I believe it's 2 rows, 3 columns, and then 4 tables. I just did wrong on the 3D shape, so actually I question it. I'm not quite sure. I try see, okay? So actually, yeah, I was wrong again. So here you see, here it's aligned with this shape. It should be 2 tables here, 1 table and 2 table, and each table has 3 rows and 4 columns. So that's how you use the random function. And if you want to create random integer numbers instead of that's a float number, then it should be random int. However, it's slightly different from the random int function. So the format is a little bit different. For random integer function, you have to tell it this is the start number and the end number, which means that which gives the function a range of the integer you want to get. Here I only want numbers under 100. You see, and then this tells the shape. So this function will generate a 2D shape with the 2 rows and the 4 columns, and all the numbers will be from 0 to 100 randomly. Obvious. You just run the code to check, okay? Say 2 rows and 4 columns, and all the numbers are from 0 to 100. Okay, so that's the random integer numbers. And when you do experiment later, when you learn how to do experiment, then you want the random function to generate the same numbers every time, then you have to add seeds, which we will mention later. But if you see the code seeds, that means that you are generating the same random numbers every time. Okay, so that's how we create a NumPy arrays often. And okay. I want to do this first, okay. And if you are building a NumPy array with from an existing data like a list or a data frame, then you just use this function numpy.array. Okay. And there's a second one, it's called numpy as array. I use both. I think the difference, I never looked into the difference until yesterday. But the difference between this is if you use the numpy as array, if you change the original array here, it will change the y as well. For example, the original array is 5, 6, 7, and then I assigned 0 to the second number here to this original array. And then if you use this function, it will change the current array, the Y as well. But it's just something good to know. We already familiar with the Numpy range. So don't be confused with the range function. Range function comes with the Python, and the Numpy range comes with the Numpy package, right? This is used to build an array to build to get a data, but range is usually used for loops for iteration. Next, want to dive deeper into selecting elements or slicing the array. That's very important. So if we want to select one element in the 1D array, you just give it like this one, M3. That should select should select if I have an array like this. I should select which number. Three is 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. It should give you 4, yes. And this is the format you select one element into the array. Let me see, check here. So the comma separates the first the rows from the columns. So this calls the rows and this calls the columns. So if I have a 2D array like this, okay, let's just use the one we generated. Okay. Here, if I type in aim 1, 2, what it will return? M is this one, okay? Here I'll type in 1, 2, it will return the second, this one means the first one means the row number, and the second one means the column number, so it should return
38. 38.
No, remember 0 is the first row, so 1 is the second row, so it should return 75, yes. Next, let's try the 3D, okay? Selecting the element from a 3D array. Let's generate another random array. Maybe I have 1, 3. So it will be 2 tables and 4 rows and 3 columns. Say 2 tables and 4 rows and 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. So if I type in 1, 2, 0, what this should return? Let's see. 1 is the table, so 0, 1, it should go with this table, and 2 is the row number, it should go with the 0. Yes, I would expect it to return 40. Okay. So yeah, I have to correct my previous knowledge. I thought this was this was the number of tables, and I was wrong. Okay. That's how we selecting one single element. Next, if we want to select an area, like I want to select this area, 98, 16, 61, and 55. What should I do? 98, 16, and 61, and 55. What should I do? Should go, so let's go each one, okay? The first of means that the number of the tables, right? So this should be
0.
yes, the first table. And then I want the first two columns, first two rows. So this square here. So this one should be
1.
0 to, I don't think it's 1. 0 to 1 only include one element. It will only give you the first row, yeah, because it includes. I should go 0 to 2, and then the column should also be, because I want this square, it should go 0 to 2 as well. So, okay. So that's how we indexing the arrays. Okay, just give it a couple numbers and try different experiment to get familiar with this. This is selecting, indexing the array, and same you can do slicing. Actually, slicing. Yes, we already mentioned it. So that's you want to cut out an area, which means so it will be the format start number, end number, and then the steps, and then you use a comma to differentiate the different axes, rows, columns, or the table number. We'll want to try another exercise here. Let's give an example. If I want to slide out I want to slice out 55, 58, 21, and then 30, 82, and 76. So that's the middle, 3 numbers in the middle, and then 3 numbers from this middle. What should I do? How should I change it? So this one, the first axis, this will be, I want to get it from both tables. So this will be
0 to 1. Put that semicolon thing in the middle.
yeah, yes, 0 to 1, not 1. 1 is excluded. It should be 0, 2. That makes sense. 0, 1 is the same as 0 because 1 is the end number is excluded. Yeah. Okay. So it should be 0, 2. That will get both tables. And then I want to get these rows 55, 58, 21. So this should be the start number should be 1, yes, and the end number. Yeah, you could leave it. I'm thinking you could leave it blank. Actually, if you leave it blank, it means that the end number is the last number, and then the column. This is the second column. So I should change this to a second column. Yes, it should be So I want the first column is 0, the second column should be
1.
1. Yes, I just give it a 1. So should it be? It gives us the 55, 50, 21, and then this area from both tables. Okay, are we good here? That's slicing, okay. Next, okay, there are more exercises for slicing here. I think we already covered this. Select a single row and then select rows in all the numbers. If you want to select in all the numbers, you just have to set up the steps. Using the step to jump. If there's no step, you don't give it a step number, then it will get every row or every column. But if you give it the step number, then it will select every 2 rows. Right. Let's have a quick discussion and then see if we are doing correct. So for example, here I was code here. I'll just change it, okay. So if I randomly change this, make it a little bit difficult. So if I do this code, yeah, have a quick discussion with the partner and tell me what this will return. Just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Could
Could you zoom in on the screen, please?
Oh, okay. Actually, I want to change this to 3. Okay, let's call it. Show you if it allows. It probably doesn't allow me to zoom. I don't think I can zoom in. Yeah, I didn't realize this code is so small here.
Chrome should be able to zoom in the browser.
Oh,
You can zoom in with the trackpad.
oh, see, that's a great improvement for the rest of our semester. Yes. Okay. Oh, yes, that's really enough. Mm. Oh, actually, it will report an error. Need to change this, okay? So. If you have finished, tell me the answer. See if you can get it correct. You see, I was wrong also. I input the 2 and it will return error.
Be the
Hmm.
bottom 3 tables. Bottom column.
So it starts with 1, and then we'll end with 3. Anyone?
Is it rows 1 and 2 column? Rows 1 and 2 column.
Row is 1, number 1. Yeah. So let's see first the table. Which table it will return? Will return the middle 2, yes, because the start number is 1 instead of 0. So it will start with this table and then it end with 3. So this number is excluded. So it's a table 1 and a table 2 will be returned. And then the second number is 1. So there are 2 rows and we didn't want the first row. So it will be this row and this row only. Okay. Yes. These are the 2 rows we will get. And then the columns start with 0 and end with 3. We end with 3, so that's the end number. 0, 1, 2, because 3 is excluded. However, it has the step, so it doesn't get every column. Instead, it get every 2 columns. So 0, the first column, and then the first column and the third column. I will expect it to return 83, 31, and then 66 and 23, if I'm correct. Right. Where did we go wrong? Which group? Where did your answer go wrong? At which part?
Last.
The
last step.
Step. Okay. Didn't use the step. Number 2. And then it's easy to come to the wrong because the last number is the end number is excluded. Okay? And a few tricks here. I see. Okay. One thing you have to be aware of when using slicing is when you change the slice. For example, I have an array A, and then I take out a slice. So then I change the slice here. I only change the new array, right? A new array. This is the original array. I created a new array based on the array, the original array. Then I change, when I change the new array, the slice, it will change A. Oh, let's try this code. That's what I believe. Okay. Yes. So it'll be 0 to 9. And then take out the number from 4 or 5, and then 3 numbers here. They are I get to the slice, 3 numbers from the 10 numbers, and now I change the slice. Okay, I change this new array to the slice. So what A will be? As you see, when you change the slice, also change the original array. So and that's something you have to be aware of. However, if you don't want to change the original array, then you need to make a copy. This is based a copy of this, and then if you change this new array, it will not change A. I think we'll stop here, and then next lesson, we'll talk about changing the shapes of the array, which you will often use, and then do calculations with Numpy array. Calculation, matrix multiplication and element multiplication. These are you often will use actually. Okay, so we'll leave the remaining of the time to see if any question or anyone need a review of your homework. Okay, that is due tomorrow.